Did you know there's a place in America where every inch of soil, every drop of water, and even the air you breathe is tainted with invisible danger? This isn't the plot of a dystopian novel. It's the story of Picher, Oklahoma, a town once thriving but now abandoned and notorious as the most toxic ghost town in the United States. Once a bustling hub of industry, this town fell victim to its own success, leaving behind a haunting legacy of environmental devastation. And if you stick around until the end, I'll share a jaw-dropping fact about another infamous ghost town that'll make you think twice about where you live. Let's dive in. Our story begins in the early 1900s, when Picher was just a sleepy spot on the map, surrounded by endless red soil. Beneath that soil, however, lay immense riches, some of the largest deposits of lead and zinc ore in the world. In 1913, prospector Harry Crawfish made the discovery that would change everything. What followed was nothing short of a modern-day gold rush. Word spread quickly, and within years, Picher transformed into a bustling mining town. According to the Oklahoma Historical Society, its population had soared as miners flocked to this newfound treasure trove by the 1920s. The town wasn't just contributing to America's wealth, it was vital to the world. During World War I, Picher supplied more than half of the lead used by Allied forces, and during World War II, its mines once again powered the war effort, fueling victory with the ore beneath its ground. Life in Picher was vibrant. Streets buzzed with workers in their mining overalls. Local diners were packed with patrons, and children played under the shadow of towering smokestacks. Families built their dreams here, believing they had struck gold, or more accurately, lead and zinc. To residents, this was the American dream, a place where hard work led to prosperity. But what no one realized at the time was that this success came with a deadly price. As Picher thrived, a silent danger was taking root. Mining isn't just about extracting valuable materials, it also creates waste, and Picher's mines were no exception. Tons of gravel-like byproducts, known as chat, began piling up around the town. These chat piles became an unassuming part of daily life. Children climbed them like mountains, and their fine gravel was even used to pave roads and playgrounds. Unbeknownst to the residents, these piles were laced with toxic heavy metals, including lead. Over time, many reports noted that fine particles of lead dust infiltrated the soil, homes, and water supply. It wasn't obvious at first, there were no alarming signs, but beneath the surface, the damage was compounding, creating an invisible crisis that would haunt the town for generations. The chat piles weren't the only problem. Mining had hollowed out the ground beneath the town, creating a labyrinth of abandoned shafts and tunnels. These voids made the land unstable, and sinkholes began appearing, sometimes swallowing entire structures. Despite these dangers, the town's economy remained reliant on mining. Families lived, worked, and played atop what would later be revealed as a ticking time bomb. As the mining boom slowed in the 1960s, Picher's economy began to decline. Mines were abandoned, leaving gaping holes beneath the town's foundation. These hollowed-out shafts posed another grave danger: sinkholes. Still, life in Picher continued as normal. Residents carried on, unaware that their town was becoming a ticking time bomb. By the 1970s, the cracks in Picher's foundation, both literal and metaphorical, were impossible to ignore. Creeks turned red, wildlife disappeared, and water contamination became undeniable. In 1983, the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, declared Picher part of the Tar Creek Superfund site, a designation for the most hazardous environmental disasters in the country. The EPA's findings were grim. Over a third of Picher's children had dangerously high levels of lead in their blood, leading to developmental issues, learning disabilities, and chronic health problems. Families began noticing troubling symptoms: frequent headaches, fatigue, and in some cases, irreversible neurological damage. The health impacts extended beyond children. Adults reported illnesses ranging from kidney issues to respiratory problems, making it clear that no one was safe from the pervasive contamination. Despite mounting evidence, cleanup efforts were slow, hindered by bureaucratic delays and financial challenges. The complexity of the problem was staggering. Toxic waste piles stretched across miles, and abandoned mine shafts created hazards that were nearly impossible to mitigate. While federal funds trickled in, they were no match for the scale of the disaster. Even as the town's physical and environmental stability crumbled, residents clung to hope. Schools remained open, businesses operated, and many refused to believe that their beloved home could pose such a dire threat. But in 2008, Picher's fate was sealed, and it wasn't just toxins that dealt the final blow. If you're finding this story as fascinating as we are, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the hidden stories of history. It really helps us bring you more content like this. And don't forget to stick around for the surprising bonus fact we promised. You won't want to miss it. In May 2008, the National Weather Service reported that an EF4 tornado tore through Picher, packing winds of up to 175 miles per hour. The storm flattened homes, leveled Main Street, and left a trail of destruction that the already struggling town could not recover from. For many residents, this was the breaking point. Federal authorities stepped in, offering a buyout program to help families relocate. By 2009, nearly all residents had left, and Picher was officially declared uninhabitable. The tornado's impact was catastrophic, but it also revealed the deeper fragility of the town. Homes that had survived decades of neglect crumbled under the storm's force, exposing the unstable ground beneath. Roads buckled, and debris from toxic chat piles was scattered across the landscape, further contaminating the area. For those who had held on through years of adversity, the town was a grim confirmation that Picher was no longer livable. But was the tornado truly the cause of Picher's demise, or was it simply the final chapter in a long story of neglect and environmental devastation? For years, warnings about the town's hazards had been ignored or dismissed. Local and federal authorities had reassured residents that Picher was safe, even as evidence of contamination mounted. The tornado didn't destroy Picher, it exposed the years of denial that had sealed its fate. Today, Picher stands as a chilling reminder of what happens when profit is prioritized over safety. The once bustling streets are now eerily silent, lined with crumbling buildings and towering chat piles. According to NBC News, toxic water continues to flow beneath the town, and lead-laden dust drifts into the air, polluting nearby ecosystems. Walking through Picher, you'll find abandoned schools with desks still in place, homes left to decay, and warning signs urging visitors to stay away. The environmental damage isn't confined to the town's borders. Nearby areas are still grappling with contaminated water and soil. Decades later, the legacy of Picher's mining boom is far from over. The surrounding ecosystems have suffered as well. Streams once teeming with life are now barren, and vegetation struggles to grow in the polluted soil. Nearby communities remain wary, knowing that the contamination doesn't stop at Picher's borders. The town's desolation serves as both a warning and a lesson in the costs of industrial negligence. Picher's story is tragic, but it's not unique. Across the United States, other ghost towns bear similar scars of industrial greed and environmental neglect. Take Centralia, Pennsylvania, for example. This town has been burning, literally, since 1962, when an underground coal mine fire ignited. Today, smoke and toxic gases rise from the ground, and its streets are cracked and deserted. Then there's Bodie, California, a former gold rush town preserved in a state of arrested decay. Unlike Picher, Bodie's collapse wasn't due to toxins, but to economic decline. And in Alabama, the ghost town of Cahaba stands as a testament to the power of nature. Abandoned after repeated flooding made it uninhabitable. Each of these towns tells a story of ambition, exploitation, and the unintended consequences of industrial progress. They're not just relics of the past, they're cautionary tales for the present and future. Picher's rise and fall is a stark reminder of how short-term gains can lead to long-term devastation, from its days as a prosperous mining hub to its current state as an uninhabitable wasteland. Picher's story is both tragic and thought-provoking. It forces us to ask, how many other hidden dangers are lurking beneath our feet, waiting to be uncovered? And now, as promised, here's your bonus fact. Did you know that the underground coal fire in Centralia, Pennsylvania could burn for another 250 years? It's a chilling thought, but it underscores the lasting impact of human activity on the environment. Thank you for joining us on this journey through America's deadliest town. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more fascinating stories. Up next, check out our video, 7 Ghost Towns in Pennsylvania You've Never Heard of. It's a deeper dive into the eerie and forgotten places that hold America's secrets. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. See you there.